Hi, everyone. I'm just going to give another minute to let some more people file in, and then we will get started. All right. Welcome, everyone. My name is Carmen, and I'm the training coordinator at the Temple Small Business Development Center. The Temple SBDC helps small businesses start and grow, and we provide free one-on-one counseling and a variety of low to no cost webinars. We are proud to be a part of the nationally accredited network of SBDCs with over 1,000 centers across the United States. You have joined us this afternoon for Networking Your Business in a Digital World. A copy of today's PowerPoint and a link to the recording of this webinar will be sent out to all attendees. And while all attendees have been muted, we highly encourage you to post any questions in the chat or Q&A. And now I will turn the floor over to Kurt and Wesley.
Hey, thank you, Carmen. So happy Thursday, everybody. And I see people are chiming in. So we have Regina, Richard, Mike, Caitlin, Julianne, Jay, Janice, all sorts of great people. So guys, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Want to give a huge warm welcome and big shout out thank you to our friends at the Small Business Development Center here at Temple University. They are truly amazing. If you're not engaged with your SBDC, strongly encourage you, welcome you, invite you to do so. Their services are completely free, totally confidential. They will never cost you a penny. They are always parked at a university like here at Temple University. So if you're coming to us from outside of the Philadelphia region, check out your SBDC near you. So guys, I want to give a big introduction to my partner in crime, Wesleen Greer. So Wesleen, happy Thursday to you. How are you?
I'm doing well, ready to rock and roll.
All right, let's do this, guys. So as everybody's chiming in, again, so what we want to do is first off, here's Wesleen, my wonderful partner. Guys, she is super active on LinkedIn. I encourage you, boy, if you're in a B2B space, if you are a business person, we encourage you to be on LinkedIn. If we were all in person today, we'd be handing out business cards, doing high fives, so on and so forth. Boy, drop in the chat box. Where are you coming from? Your website, your LinkedIn profile, whatever social media platform that you're living on, hanging out on, please drop that in the chat box. I've dropped my name. My name's Kurt Anderson. I'll do a little intro here. So let me introduce my friend Wesleen first. So Wesleen, you are an edgy sales strategy guru and a STEM expert. So explain to everybody, what is STEM in your world?
STEM for me is science, technology, engineering, and manufacturing because everything has math in it. So I switched my M out for manufacturing.
That's perfect. So as a high level, so in one more thing I have to give a shout out to, you are a recovering chemist, I understand. Is that correct?
Yes, a recovering chemist. And it's been so fun this week. I've talked to people who are actually still chemists and engineers. And so we can geek out talking about plastics and injection molding and all kind of cool stuff.
Awesome. Say, hey, we've got my friend Small Biz Philly's in the house today. Chino, how are you, dude? We've got Leah. Again, guys, drop your LinkedIn, drop your website, drop your information. Let's get this. This is a networking program, so let's get networking. So, and exactly that's how Wesleen and I came together. So, all right, we're going to move forward. My name's Kurt Anderson. I'm an e-commerce evangelist for manufacturers' #1 job on the planet. I'm a girl dad. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Wesleen, let's just dive right in, both feet first, right? Why join a network community, especially in this COVID world? Why should we be online?
You know, it's so important. When we were out networking, I used to tell people I attend 3, 4, 5 networking events a week. And they were like, what? Really? Why? And I'm like, because it's my tribe. As a business owner, as a salesperson, you have to get out of your comfort zone and you really have to have those people that you can lean on, the people you can talk to and say, hey, do you have a recommendation for a really good accountant? Because I need a new one. Or, hey, I have this client that needs to build a website. Who do you recommend?
Awesome. Good. So guys, as our goal today is on networking. So when we go out and network, we want to be focused on how can we help, how can we learn, and how can we grow? And again, people are dropping comments. This is awesome. Cassandra, we have Julianne, all sorts of, I saw Bob in here, Caitlin, Victoria. So great job, guys. So again, let's keep that party going as far as networking with each other. So guys, hopefully, man, Wesley, and I can't see anybody, but hopefully everybody's sitting down. Guys, you need to buckle up right now because we're gonna take a deep dive right here, and we're gonna introduce you to some Wesleyanisms. Wesleyan, are you ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Everybody,
ready,
guys,
rock
you
and
ready
roll.
for this? Let's do this. Okay. When people try to be everything to everyone, what happens?
You're nothing to no one. And you might be like, oh, okay, who cares? But we're networking. So why does that even matter? And so when you think about really this, I call it the niche strategy, right? Being everything to everyone or nothing to no one, the goal is, hey, I'm networking and I am who I am, right? And I serve who I serve. I'm not a chameleon. So I'm not going to go to an event with a bunch of attorneys and be like, oh yeah, when I was younger, I used to be an attorney, or I have 25 attorneys that are clients. No, I'm in the room. I am who I am. So really when you're networking, knowing who you are and who you serve is so important. Otherwise, people are like, oh yeah, Wesleyan, that lady, I met her 3 weeks ago and she was selling insurance. Oh, now she's a sales consultant. Who is that? What's going on there?
Right. Absolutely. So guys, what we want to do is stay in your lane, be laser focused, try to avoid that brand confusion. Great example we love to give is like let's say if I was selling air purifiers, right? Wesley, I know you love this example. And I come to my dear friend Wesley, the sales guru, the consultant, and I say, Wesley, I've manufactured the greatest little air purifier on the planet. And Wesley says, hey, Kurt, who's your client? I'm like, well, hey, everybody that breathes is my customer, right? No, dead wrong. So we need a laser focus on who are your peeps, who's your tribe, who are the folks that are going to really resonate with your product, your solution, so on and so forth. Wesley, let's take it another step further. You love using this line. Let's talk about this right here.
Riches in the niches. So again, being laser focused on knowing what you do and who you serve. And again, how does that tie back to networking? If you are selling air purifiers and you know that you're selling air purifiers to companies that have less than 10 employees and they're all in an open co-working space, that means that you are laser focused on the people who are also selling to companies that have 10 employees and they're in a small space. So really understanding, hey, this is how I best show up. And I want to align myself with people who are also serving those people. Because the key to networking is you go to a networking event to not look for clients. I know people are like, oh yeah, I'm networking because I need to fill my book of business. I need to fill my pipeline. If you go in with that mindset, then you're always going to fail and you're always going to be very, very, very frustrated. So think about, hey, this is my ideal client. This is my ideal person that I would love to do business with. Who else is in that niche? Who else is serving that client?
Right. Absolutely. That's so good. So again, we got great comments. Jacqueline is doing cybersecurity, AI, and R&D. Small Biz Philly says he's dropping a private LinkedIn group just for the region. And boy, we had a great conversation about a month ago, Small Biz Philly. So anybody here watch the Super Bowl this past week? And whether, I don't know if you're a Rams fan or Bengals fan, whatever the outcome, how many of us watched the halftime show? Wesley, how does the halftime show at the Super Bowl tie in with our conversation here today?
So we were watching the halftime show. This is when everybody in the house, we all gathered around in the family room. And my 13-year-old looked at me. He was like, Mommy, who are these old people singing on the screen? I'm like, old people, these are my people. This is my music. And so I'm dancing and I'm up and doing all of that stuff. And then afterwards, I look and I see that everybody that was performing was in their early 50s or late 40s. And I'm like, wow. So when you think about the halftime show and you think about, hey, they were appealing to a specific demographic. They were appealing to people that listened to this music when they were in their teens or their 20s. However, the actual people who were performing were a little bit older. So again, when you speak to everyone, you speak to no one. They could have had people that were appealing from teenagers all the way up to those who like, 40s and 50s music, but that would not have been effective because they knew exactly who they were targeting.
Exactly right. So let's continue on with that thread. So guys, what we want to do is with your business here, again, we want to make this super interactive here. share with us, drop in the chat box, like who is your ideal client? Okay. Like if you guys came to our program last month, we like to call those ideal clients, those perfect customers that we are longing for. We call them soulmates. So again, whether it's cybersecurity, landscaping, whatever your business might be, drop a comment in there on on any of the folks that you service. So Cassandra is entrepreneurs, creative small businesses. Again, so guys, let's make this super interactive. We have Dante is a bed and breakfast resort. That sounds amazing. Might have to visit there. So focus on like, in that's a great example, burnout teachers for Jill. So when you think about like that bed and breakfast, you're going to target you can't be everything to everybody. You're targeting a specific clientele, maybe certain age. Is it couples, kids, whatever that might look like? Cassandra, we want to laser focus. What type of businesses? You guys can see me. I don't work with hair salons, Wesleyan. Why? Wouldn't go over real well, right? So,
no, not for you.
So being the sales guru that you are, talk about why is it so important to have that enthusiasm, and why is this tagline important? Like the sales is the transference of enthusiasm.
So, Jill, you're saying you're working with burnt out teachers. And so really, if you came in and you were like, hey, I know I used to teach about 10 years ago, and I really want to help you get out of this place that you're in. They would be like, no, because you sound like I did 2 days ago. Right. So when you think about sales, what the product that you're selling, the thing that you're doing, how you're serving people, you are the expert in that. And because you're the expert, you should be so enthusiastic about what you're doing, how you're showing up, and how you're actually serving them. So again, when we think about selling is the transference of enthusiasm. When you walk into a room, and I say walk into a room, or when you Zoom into a room or Teams into a room, you should be so excited about your product, about how you help people, about how you serve people, about your service, that people are like, wow, I'm attracted to this person because they're so enthusiastic.
Yeah, I love that. And even if you're, if you're a little bit on the introvert side and you're like, hey, I'm not Tony Robbins or whoever, your motivation person might be, it doesn't mean that you can't come in with that enthusiasm. Again, like we have TJ who's focusing on folks that need help on accounting. Jonathan's doing a great job with landscaping in Central Jersey. Eva is targeting, I love this. Look how niche she is. Mid to high level managers, mostly women. She knows exactly who her soulmate is. So let's keep this rolling here. Okay. So what we want to focus on, like Wesleyan was saying, if we make it, and our big theme today is going to be, we want to make it about them. We want to make it about our soulmates. So instead of selling, when you're just an ambitious, aggressive networker, the great thing is to be that go-giver and start helping. Wesleyan, let's talk about some of these bullet points. I know like you are just a great advocate and preacher of these tactics right here for networking success. Let's take a deep dive in this page here.
So one of the things that people hate the most is when you talk about how great you are, how amazing you are, like why they should work with you or why they should be a part of your network, right? Like people don't like that. And so to be an effective networker, these are the 4 key things to success. Listening. Hey, my name's Wesleyan. What's your name and what's your business, right? Who do you serve? How do you help people? So just pop in with a simple question like that and listen. And don't just listen to respond, because many times that's what we do. We listen to respond, listen to understand. Okay, so you sell boba tea kits, loose leaf tea and coffee, right? Okay, that's amazing, Victoria. I feel like I should order some from you. My son loves boba. He's always like, let's go to get boba after school. And so I listen to you. Now I'm understanding what you do. And now moving to that empathizing. Okay, so what are some of the challenges that you're having within your business? And that is a different question, especially when you're networking. They're going to be like, who are you? And you're getting a little touchy-feely here, right? Like, But you're like, I want to understand how I can help you, how I can serve you, right? So you're like, oh, okay, some of your challenges are maybe you want to send your tea kits outside of the Northeast. And so you're like, you know what? I just found this person and they're a distributor and they help small businesses get their products throughout the country. I would love to connect you. That is networking, right? Because that last thing I did, I just educated that person on, hey, you don't have to do this alone. There are companies, there are people that can help you.
Man, that is so good, man. Let's take a moment of silence, just kind of savor what Wesleyan just said there. But guys, check out the chat box. Chat boxes and let's keep it going strong. Robert, boy, text messaging and customized loyalty programs. He's targeting brick and mortar and e-commerce. Very focused. Well done, Robert. And again, put this, because guys, what if there's a soulmate on this call right now that could use your help, use your service, what have you? Again, let's connect here. Jonathan, very laser focused, and I love it. Wesleyan, you constantly talk about goals. Look at what Jonathan has going. I hope to expand my niche into larger commercial jobs such as state. So well done, guys. And again, keep that chat going. And guys, when you think about it, whether you're selling tea, whether you're selling, regardless, your text marketing services, landscaping, whatever it is, what are we selling? It comes down to one word, really. It's trust, right? We talk about that enthusiasm. And like Wesleyan said, I just picked up a great line this week. People like to do business with people that like them. You know what I mean? You like doing business with people that like you, or you're perceiving that they're listening, they're understanding, they're empathizing, they get your trouble, they get your, the challenge that you're facing. Talk a little bit about, obviously, integrity, consistency, reliability. I know I'm being Captain Obvious here, but sometimes we take these things for granted. Share a little bit about this slide and what it means to you from that standpoint.
Awesome. Before I respond to that, I want to open it up to see what questions you guys have. What are your biggest challenges with networking? Because you're all here to network better digitally, or when we go back to in-person, some in-person networking has already started. Drop those in the chat or put it in the Q&A so we can answer them for you live. And so again, when you go to networking groups and maybe you're just sitting down at your desk and you're like, I need to expand my business. And okay, I know that my ideal client is somebody. So Leah says that she's targeting music lovers and lovers of nostalgia because she makes handmade earrings and accessories from damaged vinyl records. So when she's going out and she's thinking about, how can I build my business? How can I grow my business? There are always, I call it 3 pillars of prospecting, right? So the first one is digital. Anything that we do online, that's social media, Google ads, any of those things. The second one is educating. Educating is having lunch and learns, doing webinars, things like this, going on podcasts. And the third is networking. So I actually include networking as a pillar of prospecting. And why do I do that? Because you are touching people who touch your actual clients, right? So when you think about sincerity, I'm going out and I'm like, hey, Kurt, this is who I am. This is what I do. And if I'm not being sincere, Kurt is never, ever going to introduce me to anyone. Reliability. One of the worst experiences I've had with a referral partner was I referred a client. They signed a 5-figure deal with them and they were not reliable. They didn't respond to their emails. They didn't answer their calls. And what does that do for you as a referral partner? That makes you feel like, oh, I put my hand on the line for this person. So the thing is, you have to think about all of these components because it goes into being trustworthy. And Cassandra said, where do you find networking groups, right? This is going to be a different aspect to how you guys all network. So if you're a note taker, if you write things down, if you talk into your phone, this is the key to networking effectively. And that key is, think about your soulmate. Who is that person that your soulmate is? So let's say, let me look at somebody else's ideal customers, residential and commercial property owners that are looking for tree services, landscaping, things outside. Okay, so Jonathan's ideal customer soulmate is a residential property owner, and they're looking for beautification outside of their house. So that means that person may also have a house cleaning service. That person may also be really interested in having a really nice car. washing their car, right? So when we think about the person that we're targeting, we need to think about the other services or the other products that they're buying. Maybe this person goes to a hardware store often. So we need to go to networking events where those other service providers, where those other product providers are actually going. So a really good networking event for Jonathan that he may never actually ever think about is going somewhere where people who are focused on, let's say, not landscaping, I'm sorry. So people who are focused on the construction industry, right? Because if you like the outside of your house nice, that means you're probably doing some remodeling on the inside. So you start talking to somebody who does custom kitchens and you guys develop a relationship. And when they have somebody who's like, hey, I need some tree service, so I need something done outside, they're going to think about Jonathan. So that is one way that you should look for networking events. Think about your soulmate. Soulmate is the nucleus. The soulmate is in the middle of the trust bubble. And everyone around it is, what does a soulmate actually do?
That is awesome. Absolutely love that. So hopefully that was helpful, Jonathan. And TJ says, he's been thriving through COVID he's an natural introvert, but he's switched to Zoom and Google and he's doing great. And we also have Julianne is doing a great job helping researchers and organizers create biosafety plans. So again, guys, we're going to take a deeper dive into what Wesleyan is saying. And so as you guys are, man, this is awesome. You guys are being super interactive in the chat box. Let's talk about that superpower that you have. Quite a few of you have been chiming in on what you do. Let's take, maybe 1, 2, 3 words, like what's your superpower? Why does somebody buy from you over your competition? What makes you so superior to the other folks? And why should people do business with you? So again, let's drop in, you're in your safe place. We're in our little networking group. You can brag a little bit, so be proud of what you do. Share what is your superpower and how do you save your soulmate's day? Because think about your soulmate, Jonathan. So like I'm a commercial property and I'm maintenance Murray and I'm taking care of, I have restrooms, I have safety, I have COVID, I have masks, I have all these other things to worry about. I would love to not worry about the outside landscaping. You come in and make me look like a rock star. So how do you find maintenance Murray? That's another great thing with Wesleyan saying. So Cassandra says, proven results, trusted team. I asked the hard questions. We're unique. This is awesome, man. This is great, guys. So Wesleyan, let's do this.
Can I pop into the chat here? So I want to push you guys a little bit. Proven results with a trusted team. How proven how? How has your team been trusted? Asking hard questions and people tell you things. What kind of hard questions? And why? Why are they asking you hard questions? Passionate about green living and making things affordable and accessible. What about green living makes it not affordable and accessible? So dig deep. When you think about your superpowers, you really have to dig really, really deep. And why are we asking you that? Because the superpower that you have, that when you go to a networking, whether it's in person or it's virtual, you have like 5 seconds to captivate somebody. So what I tell people is I provide edgy sales strategy. Simple. They're like, huh? What? Edgy sales strategy? You don't hear that every day. So it's so quick, so simple. And it describes me because I am 100% edgy and I love sales, right? So that's what people will remember me for. So I encourage you to think about what is that 5 seconds, right? How am I going to captivate somebody in 5 seconds so I am memorable? Because the goal of networking is it's a one to many. So again, let me pop somebody else in here, hair care creator, right? So if you're a hair care creator and you want to market to, let's say you're coming to me because you're like, oh, Wesleyan, your hair is so nice. Like somebody just said, your hair is always different every time I see you, right? So you want me to remember you. So the next time I'm looking for products, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that person and I want to go buy their product. I want to give them to everybody. I want to tell everybody about them. So think about that superpower. It's so important because this is how you stay memorable and top of mind. 5 seconds, guys. So in 5 seconds, that's like 3 words. 3 words.
Man, that was so good. So Dante dropped a comment earlier that he's launching business. Dante, this is like a masterclass right now, following that chat box. So take a look at what Jonathan said, guys. And everybody, hopefully you're following the chat. Jonathan says trusted reviews. He's just absolutely killing it with 5-star reviews on Angie's List, Home Advisor, Google. That's that social proof, because if I tell you how great I am, please stop bragging, Kurt. When Jonathan goes, when I see all these reviews, now it's social proof. And TJ says, my superpower is saving clients time, which saves them money. God bless you, dude. Who doesn't want that? And Victoria has, I have the unique option of her bubble tea with other cafe drinks. Again, guys, lots of great comments. I thought there was one more I wanted to share in here. I create wearable memories. How awesome is that? And I'm an older dude, Wesleyan, so I believe she had the record jewelry. I'm an old record guy, all my old Rolling Stones, and way before Dr. Dre and all that, right? So
yes.
Okay.
Ooh, Leah, that is awesome. Leah got the 3 words down. She was listening to what I said and she got those 3 words. Creating wearable memories. And what is that going to do? When I'm in the room with Leah and she says, "Hi, my name is Leah and I create wearable memories." What does that even mean? It's a conversation starter. It makes people want to know more about what you're doing. And that is something that they're going to be like, oh yes, the next time I need to get this person a gift, or I want something cool. And I actually love earrings. So I think I'm probably going to check you out, Leah, because I'm an earring person. And so again, think about it. Think about what is the memorable 3 words. How can you hone your actual thing that you do, your secret sauce, your superpower, to 3 simple words? Back to you, Kurt.
Perfect. So Wesleyan, just yesterday, 24 hours ago, you were with our dear friend Gail, and so guys, we're going to run through some examples. Okay, guys, we're talking about strategy. Let's put it into tactics. Let's put it into use. Wesleyan and I, we are super active on LinkedIn. This is how we've connected on LinkedIn, or this is how we're partners. We do work together. We do trainings together. Wesleyan's been one of the greatest blessings for me through COVID. God bless you, Wesleyan. So yesterday you were on LinkedIn Live, and look at this line. I know like the transcription covers it, but meet somewhere where they are. Meet somewhere where they are. And we have hashtag Wesleyan Wisdom. Just share a little bit. I love the conversation yesterday, guys. If you connect with Wesleyan, you can follow this conversation just yesterday. What's that mean? Meet someone where they are. What do you mean by that?
So Jill, she came up with her 3 words: creating healthy boundaries. Oh. So when I think about meeting someone where they are, if my superpower is creating healthy boundaries, and I know that I'm talking to somebody, maybe they're a CEO of a large company and they have a hard steel armor on, they're not going to, in that room of networking, when I'm talking to them about what I do and why I'm awesome and why we should connect afterwards, they're probably not going to show as much emotion because they are not allowed to. They have to have a really strong, steely demeanor. So meeting somebody where they are means that you need to ensure that your selling journey and the buyer's journey is aligned. And that literally means that, hey, I'm ready to sell my product, but this person, they may not even know that they need me yet. So your goal is to meet that person where they are. If they're at the beginning of their evaluation of needing a product or needing a service, let's say I said Sierra, healthy hair care, right? Somebody may not know that the products that they're using are what's causing their hair to be damaged. They may just think that, oh, I'm just getting a little bit older, so my hair is falling out. But you have to educate them, right? So when you're networking, your job is to educate. So think about really at the very, very, very early point in a buyer's journey where they don't know that they need you. They don't know that they need you as a partnership, right? So really think about that. Everybody's not going to be ready to swipe their credit card or sign up for your newsletter or do those things immediately. Meet people where they are.
Man, that is so good. Sierra, Where were you 20 years ago, man? I could have used you creating healthy hair care. Man, I wish I knew you way back when. But anyway, we'll move forward. Wesley, another great way you wouldn't think about this is connecting. I absolutely love this. So there was a book that just launched this week. And guys, see all these beautiful faces on here? And you look down here in the bottom in the left corner, there's your new bestie, Wesleyan. Talk about this for an online networking opportunity. How did this work out?
So the crazy thing about this is this lady actually reached out to me on LinkedIn probably about a year and a half ago. And she said, "Hey, Wesleyan, I love what you're doing. Let's chat." And so we just struck up a conversation. And I actually partnered with her to make sales training specifically for women in college. So if you're in college, I know we're with Temple right now, and you're thinking about starting a career in sales or want to dip your toe into it, then I encourage you to check out Heidi. And a few months later, she said, "I'm writing this wonderful book and I want you to be a part of it." Right? So again, me thinking about all of the many things that I have, writing a book sounds amazing. But do I have time to write a whole book? No, Kurt, I know you've written like what, 5-10 books because you have that great ability. But all of these women, these are all people who are doing similar things to me. And this is one thing that a lot of times as business owners, as salespeople, that we don't want to do. Every single person on here is in sales. All 33 of these women are in sales, but we do something different. Why? Because we all have our own special superpowers. So these women have sent me business and I've sent them business and we collaborate on things. So don't always say, "I'm not going to talk to that person because they're my competitor." Yes, everybody does not have the best intentions, but there are some people that are doing things that are adjacent to you that you should get to know, because if they don't do that business, like our landscaping guy, I'm guessing maybe you don't cut lawns, maybe you don't do fertilizer, maybe you don't kill the rodents that crawl around the lawns. You should be networking with those people because you can go back, transfer your leads, your business back and forth.
That is so good. And guys, next month, if you're having a good time today, come back next month because Wesleyan and I are back on stage. We're going to do a LinkedIn workshop together. And a tagline that we'd like to use, I grew up 100 years ago and you always heard, hey, it's not what you know, it's who you know. It's not what you know, it's who you know. But with LinkedIn and with social media and like this strategy, look at these faces right here. Like these are part of her persona. These are her soulmates. But we call it the Soulmate 100. We're going to get into it in a minute, but having that referral network. So it's not so much what you know. It's not even necessarily who you know. It's what you know about who you know. So let that one sink in for a minute. So Wesleyan said, so I wrote this little book. If any of you are suffering from this awful disease, best kept secretism, my mom says this is a great book, Wesleyan, stop being the best kept secret. So that's our goal. And again, so guys, you have expertise inside you that your soulmates are dying to, like, they need you. They are longing for you. They're like raising their hand saying, "I need help with my lawn care. I desperately need hair care." Whatever the products and services that you're providing, we want to stop being the best kept secret and get out there and network. Now, what we want to do is I want you to drop in the chat box now. Okay. One of the questions that maybe Cassandra was asking, all right, how do I better network? Well, obviously I'm going to be Captain Obvious, social media, right? So as you understand your soulmate, if you're targeting Wesleyan, I have a teenager, Wesleyan has a teenager. If you're targeting teenagers, you're probably not going to use LinkedIn and most likely not going to use Facebook, right? But maybe if you're a financial planner, you're helping people with 401ks or retirement plans. Yeah, boy, I would strongly encourage you to be on LinkedIn because that's where the money's at. I would encourage you to be on Facebook. Drop in the chat box. What do you think, or where do you what platforms are your soulmates hanging out at? Or B, where do you have the most success? Okay. A, where are your soulmates hanging out at? B, where have you found the most success on social media? Drop that in the chat box. We're going to keep this program rolling, but please drop that in the chat. You guys are doing awesome. Wesleyan, you scratch the surface a little bit. A lot of times we go to the networking event and you get caught up in talking, make it all about yourself. I did this, our company, blah, blah, blah. So unless I don't think there are any pirates out there today, right? So unless you're a pirate and you're saying aye, matey, our matey, or aye, captain, we want to encourage you from your online standpoint to make it all about who, Wesleyan?
all about them. It is never about you. If you're saying I too much or we or that, remember when I walked you through those 4 pillars when you're in front of somebody and you're in a networking event, whether it's digital, whether you're in person, you have to really dig deep and figure out the person, what their drivers are, what's important to them. And I see a lot of different I'm saying Instagram because I'm seeing it pop up so much. A lot of different social medias come up, and I think this is awesome, right? So knowing exactly where your soulmates hang out, what you should do is you should look at, okay, so I know this is where my soulmates hang out, but where are the people who are looking for my soulmates hanging out, right? So again, we talked about having that strategy where you're coming alongside somebody, where you're thinking about who are those networking power players that I have. So they may be your actual buyer might be on Instagram and Facebook, but where are your networking partners hanging out? Are they on Twitter? Are they on LinkedIn? Because they're thinking about their business. And so a quick way that I like to divvy up the different social media channels is it's really based on the age and the demographic of your soulmates. So if you're doing something that's visual, any kind of visual, anything, Pinterest, no matter what age they are, is a great place to be. And Pinterest is actually not social media. It is a digital search engine. So what that means is when people are Googling, when people are searching, Pinterest will come up. So if you have a visually appealing product, you should definitely be using Pinterest. If you're appealing to a younger demographic, teenagers, early 20s, TikTok is great. Instagram, Snapchat, all of those things are really good. If you're in that, I would say 23 and younger. Then that early 20s to the mid 30s, Instagram is going to be where you're going to find a lot of your love. 35 and up, if you're in B2C, that's all about Facebook. That's all Facebook. And if you're in the business to business realm, LinkedIn and Twitter, those are going to be your 2 that you want to be, no matter what. If you're business to business, so I'm a business selling to another business, you definitely should be on LinkedIn and also Twitter. And the key with the social, do one thing and do it well, period. Do one thing and do it well. Don't be everywhere. Because again, I showed you the different demographics for the different platforms. So do one thing and do it well.
We'll take a moment of silence on that one, right? Guys, like TJ said, TJ, you're crushing it, but maybe social media hasn't been your thing yet. God bless you. You're doing great. However, if you want to tip your toe, or again, Dante, brand new, Leah's talking about, maybe sliding into LinkedIn. You guys are, get that. I couldn't agree with Wesley more. Find your niche, get into that one platform and get comfortable, get good at it, start building that engagement, start finding some customers, and then you can expand from there. So that is fantastic. We don't have to spend a ton of time here because we are super positive, Wesley. Any networking fails, obviously, you go to that chamber event, you go to that networking event, here comes that person, and all they're going to do is talk about themselves and try to sell. That's a huge blunder and a fail that we want to avoid. Any other fails or blunders that we want to suggest, especially from an online for folks tipping their toe into digital for the first time? Any suggestions for everybody to avoid?
So this one is really important. Always, so this is going to be a positive, negative, right? So always try to get the other person to speak first. Right. And you do that because you want to make sure that you're aligning whatever you say or whatever you tell them to what they're actually interested in. Because one of the worst things you can do is go into this great, wonderful pitch of who you are and what you do, and the other person is your competitor. Like literally like a direct competitor. You don't want to give them your secret sauce right away. And so when I'm in those situations, because I'm like, oh, so tell me a little bit about what you do. And they tell me, I give them some weird off the wall thing because I'm like, there's not much that we should be talking about here because we're doing exactly the same thing, looking for exactly the same soulmate. So that would be one. And the second one is trying to close right then and there. Do not try to sell me in 90 seconds. Do not put me on your email list because I've attended an event that you were there at me with. So do not do that. Networking is not for selling. It is for just getting to know someone. And the number one key is if you find somebody that you have a synergy with, whether it's, yeah, I actually think that we can do business together, or you're calling on the same kind of people, you want to say, hey, can we schedule a coffee, a virtual coffee, right? That's really the key to networking. A lot of people say networking doesn't work, but it doesn't work because there's no follow-up and follow-through. So a simple, hey, can we schedule a 15-minute virtual coffee to get to go? It absolutely is like dating, Leah. It is. It's like, okay, I'll tell you a little bit of this. You tell me a little bit of that. It's absolutely just like dating. Back to you, Kurt.
Absolutely. So Wesley, you scratch the surface here, guys. So again, as we're talking about finding that soulmate, what we love to do is, boy, the really true successful entrepreneurs really build up that referral network. Okay. So Wesley, you scratch the surface. We've talked about it a few times about finding those like-minded partners, folks that are targeting the same people that you are targeting. That soulmate 100, we call it, how do you find, get yourself embedded, network with the peeps, the organizations, the groups, the distributors, anybody where there's clusters of soulmates. Let me give you an example. Okay. Let's see what this next slide looks like. What's that say at the very bottom there, Wesleyan? Can you spell that out there? That last one?
I think it says SBDC.
Let's give a little SBDC chant. How about for Temple University, guys? Let's throw a little plug to our friends at the SBDC. Boy, if you are not engaged and I couldn't encourage you enough to check out your local SBDC. If you're in a Philly area, you want to connect with the folks at Temple. They are rock stars. Services are completely free and confidential. But the reason I bring this up, Wesley and I, we connect with a lot of organizations, and our wheelhouse is manufacturers, right? We work with a lot of manufacturers. So we target like trade associations, different groups that are speaking to they're singing the same song to those manufacturers. Just think about this right now. We are so fortunate. We are blessed. How many people are on the call? We have 41 people here today. There's no way on God's green earth that we would been able to find all of you and that our stars would have lined. But by us partnering with the SBDC, we are very blessed and fortunate that you guys come into our network and we can share this time together. So by us that's part of our Soulmate 100 are the small business development centers, other trade associations. So again, like coming to these webinars, maybe there's like maybe there's a soulmate on the webinar right now. Okay. Like TJ said he's coming to us from Pittsburgh. Hey, my mother went to Pitt. So, hey, TJ, we love Pittsburgh. But think about courses, webinars, mastermind groups, Chamber of Commerce, and now everybody in the whole world we've had to go online. Everybody's online. These opportunities are absolutely there. So check that out. Wesley, let's talk a little bit. Like we run a cohort ourselves. We do training. Share a little bit about the energy and the excitement with folks that come in. And we're not selling, guys. We started a couple of weeks ago. So just talk about like the energy of our cohort when they come in and the collaboration. And these guys are coming from different states.
Absolutely. And what we found is, so we have businesses all the way from Alaska, all the way to New York. Literally, it's a very diverse group of businesses. And they've met together probably twice, I think. And they're already doing business with each other, and nobody has sold anybody anything. They're like, oh yeah, I went on your website and I really love that granola that you're making. Oh yeah, I checked this out and I'm going to use this product. Just because when we think about that little trust bubble, they're understanding what everybody does. They all have the same mission. They all want to become better in a digital space from e-commerce. So they built those bonds and forged those relationships.
Absolutely. So guys, Wesley did a great job earlier. So again, so for Jonathan Landscaper, the jewelry situation, whatever product that you guys are selling, let's just go through a little quick exercise. All right. Let's say every single one of us on a call, all 41 of us, we're launching a brand new real estate firm. We're starting from scratch at absolute zero. And we're like, man, if I need to try to find a homeowner one at a time, and I think a couple guys, maybe Jonathan and TJ, you guys were talking about like your referral network, that word of mouth, that is such a powerful tool, that social proof. However, when we're starting dead from scratch, and Dante's going to be starting his business, God bless you, Dante, in December. What's a great way to, I'm contacting the mortgage banker, the broker, the attorney, the homeowner's insurance, the fence person, the awning person, everybody on this list, and just kind of putting myself out there. And how can I build that network and put myself front of mind with these folks? And a great way to do it Instead of going out there and saying, hey, I'm awesome, I'm a great real estate agent. If I call like home builder Bob or home builder Julie, whoever it is, and I say, hey, home builder, I hear that you are absolutely amazing. I have a lot of clients that are coming to me for the real estate needs and they want to build a brand new home. And I would love to refer my business to you. Could we have a cup of coffee? Man, they probably couldn't take that cup of coffee from me fast enough. But if I come into them, I'm like, hey, I'm a great real estate person. You need to do business with me, da, da, da. They're going to be like, dude, I am busy, right? So we want to flip the script as Wesleyan keeps preaching, make it all about them, not use that word I, and we want to shine a bright light on your soulmate. Wesleyan, online, digital, great way for networking is a little podcast. Hey, do you know anybody that does any podcasts, Wesleyan?
No, I don't think I know anybody.
Who's this beautiful person right here? Talk about your podcast. Why did you start a podcast? And what has it meant for you? What's it done for you and your relationship building?
So I started this podcast because one thing that I found is people were always asking me the same questions in different ways from different industries. And I'm like, well, instead of me always being the authority in all things sales, let me use my network and interview people so they can share their stories. Because when you hear something packaged in a slightly different way, it resonates with you more. So that's why I started my podcast. And as you can see, we're a 5-star podcast. We have almost 300 ratings. And really, I'm using my network. And just today, I interviewed someone and I was listening to her, and she does these little things, they're called shorts. Right. So we all know about like the stories on Instagrams and stuff. So they're like 3 to 5 minute videos. And she actually is selling those. And I was like, that is such a good idea. My Wesleyanisms. So I'm going to start something for Wesleyanisms.
Right.
And again, that is the power of networking. You don't have to be sitting in front of somebody at a cafe or in a room with them to really learn about what they're doing. And you may not always get a client referral from them, but you have to think about, in this situation, it's not always going to be equal. It's not going to be you send me 5 clients, I send you 5 clients, but it's about understanding what the drivers are for that person. So really that question, how can I serve you? What are challenges that you're having within your business? Oh, well, this is happening or that's happening. Or sometimes people are like, oh, I really need an accountant. And I didn't give them a client, but I gave them a referral to a really good accountant. And that's solving a business challenge that they've had. So really, when you think about networking, it's not always about, I'm going to get clients, I'm going to give clients. Sometimes you're just giving your advice, you're giving of yourself.
And I'll tell you, this is a phenomenal strategy here, guys. So, think about, as you're trying to build out your business and you're approaching sales if you treated every sales call like it was a podcast interview, because what you're doing, what Wesleyan does, somebody comes on her show and she's interviewing the person. She's interested. She cares. She's trying to get an understanding. She's empathetic. Remember those keys that we talked about before? That's exactly what she's doing here. And what was our bubble word? Trust. She's building that trust with this person in an interview. So, hey, we're doing that virtual cup of coffee. Why not just hit the record button and capture nearly 300 5-star reviews in the process? So, hey, let's give a little round of applause for Wesleyan for just crushing it on her podcast. Great job. So, guys, it's a great opportunity. We saw a lot of you are your soulmates are hanging out on Instagram. They're hanging out on Facebook. You can go live on all these platforms here. YouTube, LinkedIn, and what does it cost? Wesleyan, $0, right? Doesn't cost a penny to do that interview, conduct those things. So I think, hey, who's this wonderful person in the top left? So guys, I have a little LinkedIn show that I do live. As a matter of fact, I do 2 a week. Why do I do it? Who are all these people on my page here? These are my Soulmate 100. These are people I've either referred business to or we're doing business already. And these are all folks that have been on my podcast one way or another. Look at this lovely lady down the right corner. This was during the World Series, and Wesleyan comes to us live from Houston. And this was the Astros were in the World Series, of course. And we did our LinkedIn live interview, and Wesleyan was our guest. So here's my next question for you guys. I'd love for you to pop in the chat box, okay? Is there something, we talked about like a book, a podcast, an interview. Is there something that's been burning on your radar? You're like, man, I wish I had the time, the energy, the courage to write a book or to do a guide or to do like those 3-minute videos or a podcast, if there's something that you've wanted to do and it keeps getting slid on the back burner, drop that in the chat box and just share like what's something that you want to do that you think would resonate or connect with your soulmates. And we're going to keep going. And I want to just show you, I want to show this example here. So when you interview your soulmates, just the emotional connection that can drive through. This was just so heartwarming. So this is a good friend of mine. She works at an organization that targets and works with manufacturers. Okay. And so I said, hey, could I interview on LinkedIn Live? And she was like terrified. And it caught me off guard because I thought she was an extrovert. She's not. She's an introvert. Let me just read to you she puts up a post on LinkedIn. Doesn't cost me a penny for this to happen. Sometimes you get presented with an opportunity that is really exciting. You know you want to do it because it'd be an amazing experience, but you have hesitation because it pushes you out of your comfort zone. There's that decision point where you stay safe and say thank you, but no, opting to stay in your no growth zone. Man, how many times have all of us been in that? I won't speak for you guys. I'll speak for me. I've set very comfortable my no growth zone. She goes, and opting to lean into your discomfort and experience to grow, doing a live interview. Well, sure enough, she did it. And her hashtag is courageously uncomfortable. I'm writing a big blog post about her next week, Wesleyan. She's a dear friend. She's an inspiration. You know what she did? We went through that interview. She was so fired up and so inspired. See all these arrows? All these were soulmates that she started referring to me. She goes, hey, Kurt, you need to connect with Dave in Missouri. You need to connect with Jamie in Arkansas. You need to connect with this person in Maryland. You need to connect with this person in Alabama. So by just interviewing this person, and it didn't cost me a penny, she came back to me like just a crazy amount of referrals. And she is just such a dear, warm, genuine friend. We have a wonderful relationship. And again, that's what we want for you guys to think about. And I'll just share this real quick. I did an interview here with an SBDC at Manhattan. This is my dear friend, Glamis. So I do an interview with her. So then what do? I turn around at Temple University. The director is Maura Shanker. God bless Maura. This is why we're here today. So I come back to Maura and I say, hey, Maura, you want to, how about coming on for a live interview with us? She said, that'd be absolutely awesome. We had a great time. And again, that's how we've built this wonderful relationship here at Temple. We're so honored and thrilled to continue working with these guys. Wesleyan, how about, a lot of our folks here are on our Facebook. How about Facebook groups? Is this a great place for people to be connecting?
Absolutely. And again, remember, we don't spam, we don't sell. The crazy thing is, they're like, Wesleyan, but you're a sales consultant. Like, why are you telling us not to sell? Because it's annoying and it gives a sales profession a bad name. If you're in a Facebook group, your goal is to support. It is to support. You see a post, you know the answer to it, answer it. Help that person. Mm-hmm. Ask your questions, never sell, but you can build yourself as a thought leader, as an authority within those Facebook groups by really supporting people.
Absolutely. So guys, we're going to wind down. So Victoria, thank you. If you had to cut out, I know Bob left earlier. So again, if you need to cut out for a call coming up at the bottom of the hour, thank you. Twitter. So any of the folks that are on Twitter, Wesleyan, as a matter of fact, we are connected through a dear friend of mine who's super active on a Twitter chat group, our lo and behold buddy, Dan Bigger. So Twitter, for folks that are, if your people, if your tribe, if your soulmates are hanging out on Twitter, what's it cost to put together a Twitter chat? Zero. What's it cost to put together a Facebook group? Zero. What's it cost to be active on LinkedIn or like we mentioned, TikTok or any of these platforms? This is where your folks are, not necessarily a social media session or webinar today, but boy, it is such a critical part of your strategy. Guys, we're going to wind down and we want to stick, Wesleyan, we're going to stick around for a few minutes. We would absolutely love to hear any of your questions. Guys, the key to business success, boy, any takeaway today is Wesleyan has been preaching, guiding us, educating us. I've learned so much from Wesleyan over this past year. Hashtag hunt relationships. Wesleyan, you've said it over and over. Don't hunt those sales, hunt those relationships. Again, how about parting thoughts for anybody as they're wrapping up today?
Really think about serving. Your key in life as a business owner, as a salesperson, is to find ways to serve your customers, serve your vendors, and serve your referral partners. So serve before selling, and you will always, always come out ahead.
That is awesome. We're dropping the mic on that. Guys, I want to give a quick shout out for a lot of you guys are solopreneurs. I have a book I'm going to recommend. It's called Tiny Business, Big Money. Tiny Business, Big Money. It just came out yesterday. It's a dear friend of mine that wrote this book. Her name's Elaine Pulfield. I'm actually interviewing her on LinkedIn Live this Friday. What she's done, she works with SBDCs, as a matter of fact. She's found like this little tiny undercurrent of entrepreneurs that have figured out how to create 7-figure businesses as a solopreneur. So her first business was called $1 Million One Person Business. $1 Million One Person Business. I feel like a lot of you folks would, and again, I have no skin in the game. I have no affiliation other than she's a dear friend, and this is a great book. $1 Million One Person Business. Her book just came out this week. So now what she's done, businesses that have like 2, 3, 4 employees, and they're doing millions of dollars. And it's a phenomenal book. I just finished it last night. I'm interviewing her on Friday, totally free. Check that out. Last thing I want to share with you guys, man, if you had fun today, we're taking a deep dive on search strategies on January 23rd, I guess a week from yesterday, next Wednesday, right here at Temple. Again, free program for you guys. We're going to do a deep dive on search strategies, Google strategies for your business, free program. Check it out. We're going to wrap up on that. So guys, we're not going anywhere. If you have any questions whatsoever, we're going to stick around for a few minutes. We've got Carmen here in the house. Again, connect with your local SBDC, regardless of what state you're coming from or where in Pennsylvania you're coming from. But boy, if you're in Philly, connect with Carmen, connect with Morris Shanker, anybody at the Temple University SBDC. And so with that, I'm going to wind down. Thank you guys if you're cutting out, but any questions, please drop in the chat box.
Also, as we are wrapping up here, I posted a link in the chat to a survey. I've never heard such good feedback on a webinar, by the way, guys. So if you could fill out that survey for us, it takes less than a minute, and it's required by our funders so that we can keep offering these awesome workshops to you guys. So I will leave the last 4 minutes for any questions, any final comments, and yeah.
Awesome.
And while they're chiming in, we'll throw in our LinkedIn hats for a second, Wesley. So
thanks so much, Jonathan. I'm glad we're a first timer, right? First time attending, and look forward to attending. We're glad that this was your great first experience.
Thank you, Jonathan. Come back on next week. Thank you. This was lit. Thank you, TJ. Same to you, brother. So it sounds like he's doing a phenomenal job. So Wesley, my comments are coming in. I have a quick question for you about LinkedIn. If I'm looking for a social media platform, and I'm very biased towards LinkedIn, as you know. That's how you and I became besties, right?
Yeah.
What social media platform has the most money for the people using that platform?
Oh, it is all about LinkedIn, right? And why do I say that? The reason is because the LinkedIn logarithm is very, very friendly to its users. Whereas on other platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, they're looking for big business to come in and boost things up. But you can have a post, an organic post on LinkedIn, and get thousands of views. And it's just as simple. And really the strategy that we use on LinkedIn is all about networking. So yeah, okay, I do post. I post every single day, but every single day I have it built into my actual business day that I engage and thoughtfully engage on at least 10 posts. And so that means I'm giving, and I'm not on there promoting myself. I'm reading the post, I'm watching the video, and I'm giving them feedback. I'm asking them questions because I actually appreciate what they're saying and what they're doing. So that is why LinkedIn is so good, because there's no banter, there's no fighting. There's just people who want to learn and support other businesses.
Absolutely. So Jacqueline, thank you for the comments. Emily, thank you. Leah, thank you. God bless every single one of you guys. So again, we have a couple more minutes here, right, Karen? We have a few more minutes, right? So any questions, we would love to address anything. And, please connect. Wesley, thank you. Dropped our LinkedIn profiles in there. Connect with us. Wesleyan's website is Transform Sales. Transform Sales. Connect with her. She has an awesome new website. Check out her podcast. I would love to connect with you guys on LinkedIn. And again, you check out your local SBDC. Did I mention that their services are free and confidential? I think I said that before, right? So absolutely. Okay, guys, if anything else, connect with us offline. We'd love to hear your story, what you have going on. We're rooting for you. We're all in this together. Come back to, we have a whole series of workshops, Wesleyan, like we're doing Temple over and over and over, man. This is, we just love Temple University. So.
We do. Thank you so much. I hope you guys learned a
Thank you so
lot.
much, guys.
And my goal for you is put at least one thing into action. Don't just attend the webinar, listen, get riled up. One action item, at least one action item. Commit to doing one thing differently this week.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great rest of your week, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Thank you. Thank you, Wesleyan.
Bye-bye.
Bye.